this person and where they want to go. And it takes work. You know, I mean, nowadays, luckily for you, luckily for me, I mean, when I was studying with my Course in Miracles teacher, he's been doing it for 30 years. Thankfully, he's been doing it for 30 years. I didn't have to study that long. I learned what I needed to learn really quickly because he was so good at it. As we progress, we learn faster and faster and faster. For a lot of you kids nowadays, you already know it, but you're going to get it that much quicker. A lot of us, maybe a little more mature, it takes a little bit longer, but you have that support. And really, it's always an inside job. You always started in your temple. You're always in here. You know, so we have to begin breaking out of that outward mentality, the outward mobility. And a lot of that is breaking down. It's all a part of our socioeconomic system. It's all materialism. It's all outside there. It's all outside of me. If I get this, then I'll be happy. When I win the lottery, then I'll do this. Then I'll be happy then. When I get this girl, when I get this guy, stop. What do you want? Cultivate it within yourself. You know, if you're talking law of attraction, that's how you attract. Who am I? You want to know who you are? Look around you. See the people that reflect. They're all mirrors. They all reflect for you. If you don't like people around you, they do. They're a reflection of you. Now, that don't mean that the people around you are exactly your personality and who you are, but what do you notice about those people? Why do they irritate you? What's the point of them being there irritating you? What are you trying to learn? Yeah. Okay. If you guys aren't aware of Bashar, if you get on YouTube and you look up Dolores Cannon, somewhere you'll run into Bashar. Bashar is a interdimensional future being that's channeled through Daryl Anka. And it's probably one of the best people to learn from because of his expansive knowledge. You know, if we're in 3D moving into 4 or 5D, this person's in 7D looking down and can give us the whole map. You know? And one of the things that I know I struggled with was going, I must live in the kindergarten of the universe. We're all a bunch of idiots. But we're not.
How are you spelling the name?
Bashar, B-A-S-H-A-R. Just type in Bashar. You can type in Bashar Channel or whatever. But Earth is not the kindergarten of the universe like we thought it was. This is a master's school. This is a school for masters. You're all getting a master's degree. What the whole point of us coming to Earth and for the duality that we experience here, the powers that be decided, and you have to look at the universe as a big experiment, because it really is, because we're eternal. Eternal beings. It means we gotta find crap to do forever. So we get creative. And the idea behind Earth was, okay, if we're eternal beings, let's create a place that is so dualistic and dark, and see if we can still climb out of it, and still return to the light. And that's why you're all here. You're here getting your master's degree, because we're going from the darkest of the dark, dualistic, materialistic, masochistic worlds, and bringing it back to light. Okay? So quit beating yourselves up for your shopping sprees and for all the things that you beat yourself up for, whatever that may be. That's just part of our adaptation to this world. But we're moving out of that. Okay? As spiritual masters, students, you are getting a highly condensed and accelerated school. We aren't here suffering and hating life for no reason at all. We're not just stuck here. We didn't choose to come to this ball of rock and mud and water to suffer. We came here to stop the suffering. Okay? So as you're suffering and going through your own personal hell on Earth, realize you're not just working for you. You're working for everybody. And if you actually, I want to take a moment to take the demonization. We in Western society like to demonize powerful words, like selfish. Selfish is, that's like one of the worst things you could be growing up as a kid. You're so selfish. Selfish is just sense of self. If you are truly 100% spiritually, holistically, universally selfish, all you're doing is taking care of your own needs. If you were to take care of your own needs, the only thing left is everyone else. And if you do the work inside, you're already affecting everybody else. That's why they call you light workers, because you radiate light to everybody. Okay? And I know that a lot of you guys have read 8 billion books, gone to a bunch of different conferences, stuff like that, but you're still here. You're still working. Maybe you're just here enjoying the ride, but you're still here. So figure out why you're still here. You know, why are you here listening to me run my mouth for 2 hours? You know, what's the point? What are you trying to learn? What are you trying to get out of it? You know? And if you don't want to, don't. The nice thing about being eternal is that you can do whatever the hell you want for as long as you want to do it. Okay? But I assume that most of us, being where we are, the time we're at, we would like to grow. We'd like to accomplish something. And that's why we're here. So, questions? I feel like this is a good question time. Nope, you're all dumbfounded right now.
Oh, okay.
Do it. Do it. Give me a weird. I love weird questions.
Okay. All right. You don't want to embarrass anybody here, but for those of us who are beginning to get a little long in the tooth now.
Mature? Like fine wine?
Okay. There's still hope.
There never was. There was never a time there wasn't hope. That was a perception.
So we can still go out and do what we feel we were put here to do,
Absolutely.
even though we've learned it a little late in life.
Absolutely.
You're still in your physical body.
Yeah. But see, that's the whole thing. That's the judgment. That's the perception of, oh, and I have experienced this. I don't know how many times I was at dinner in the Yucatan with a bunch of people talking with a guy who was late 50s, 60s, and he was just so upset that he didn't learn this stuff earlier. You learned it exactly when you needed to learn it. And by the way, you didn't learn anything. You remembered it.
Yeah, but you're put down as a child because you were trying to do what you were put here to do,
Right.
or came here to do. And so your mother, whatever, would tell you, don't say things like that. They're going to think you're crazy. Don't
Right.
do that. You know, so that's what you were brought up with.
Right. Well, you're here to break that mold because your mother raised you up that way and said, and in well meaning, always remember, everybody's doing the best they can every day. If they can do better, they would. She was raising you the best she could. She wanted you to be able to function in society, in the world that she raised up in, which is funny if you look at the way we set it up, because we're raised by people that came from the old society to raise us as we move into the new society. So we're always got antiquated learning.
But she was contradicting though, because at the same time,
Absolutely.
she was telling me, you are the I am, you are the temple,
Right.
but you can't do this.
Right.
You can't go out and do this. You
Right.
can't say these things.
And that was part of her path, part of her learning. You were here to teach her that no, I can be the I am, I can do these things, I can say these things, and I can still be accepted. Now, from what it sounds like you're telling me, what you've done is done what she told you to do and realized it didn't work for you, and now you're changing. Well, if she's still around, you go, well, I did it your way, it didn't work, so now I'm doing it my way. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Isn't that that's called a learning lessons? We get them. We get them from individuals. We get them tonight and here. We get a lesson. And how we process that lesson, you know, like your mother.